Hello, so now that we've drawn the site boundary using the line tool, I'm going to consider whether this is really an appropriate orientation for the site when I consider how it might be presented on sheets of say A3 or A2 paper with a title block to be submitted to council. Okay, it may look very odd that the site is at this sort of angle. Okay, so what I may consider doing is tilting this site somewhat so that as much as possible north still is retained as going up the page, which is the standard drafting procedure, but may look more appropriate for the sheet of paper that it is to be submitted to council on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, just so I can keep a track of where north is, I'm going to draw a line straight up the page. Okay, and then I'm going to select both the image and all the lines and rotate the image and the boundary lines so that this edge is parallel to the grid. Okay, this means now that north is no longer straight up the page, but north is this direction. Okay, and I need to really work out what direction that is, or what angle I've rotated it by, so that I can reset the angle that is specified as north. Okay, because in ArchiCAD, with things such as the sun studies and so forth, the shadows will be cast differently depending on what ArchiCAD is presuming is north. Okay, so what I'm doing now is just measuring the angle, okay, that I've tilted the site by, okay, which is 131 degrees. Okay, so what I need to do then is go into options, project preferences, levels and project north, and change the project north from 90 degrees to 131 degrees. Okay, and then press OK. All right. So there doesn't appear to have been any effect, but there is definitely a consequence of changing from 90 degrees to 131 degrees, which is the fact that the sun studies will be different. Okay. All right. Now that I've done that, what I will do is just move this PDF image to the side, and let's consider what to do next. Okay. The next thing to do is to convert these lines into a mesh so that we can create a 3D volume of the site with the correct contours, okay, and spot levels. So if you notice, these spot levels indicate that at these points the relative level to AHD, which is Australian Height Datum, or to Project Zero, which is generally taken to equal AHD, is 101 meters above AHD. Okay, so or 100,660 millimeters above AHD. Okay, so the first instance we need to create a volume, and we do that by creating mesh. So we double click on the mesh tool. The mesh tool is effectively like a slab, but able to be spot leveled so that we can raise the surface of the mesh, which looks like a slab, to certain points above the AHD level or Project Zero level. Okay, so in the first instance, what we want to do is give a thickness to the mesh, which I generally make as 1000, and determine the cross-section view of when you may cut the mesh on how you would like it graphically annotated, graphically displayed, which I like this one the best because it has the hatching of the earth. The RL to Project Zero, because we're going to build it at Project Zero or AHD, it can remain as 0. The home story is going to be on AHD, which is at the moment the only story that is created. The cut surfaces will be a hatch, and you can either leave it as close hatch, or you can put earth, which is what I will change it to here. And then the top of the model I will make as grass. Click this button if you don't want the other two as grass. It will revert back to what it was previously. And then the layer that it is assigned to, if you click on here, it should be assigned to the site existing layer. Okay. And then press OK. And what you're going to do is then come up to the information box, which is running along the top, and choose the polygon or polygonal geometry method. Okay. And then make sure you snap to each of the corners of the site. Okay. Notice how the pen's going black as I'm snapping to each corner. And once you have done that, it's just a cover fill in here. Okay. Once you have done that, then watch that last click there. Just ignore that because that's the orientation of the fill, of the cover fill, but I'll actually get you to delete the cover fill, which means you should uncheck this box. Okay, uncheck that box and go okay. All right. So once you have traced around the boundaries of the survey that you created using a line, then just have a look at it. What it looks like in 3D. Okay, which it looks like if you can hit the fit and window button, it looks like this. All right. Okay, so that's the site. But that's the site that is flat at the moment because it does not have any contours to it yet. Okay, so in the next video we will add the grid so that we are able to then specify the contours of the site at each of the grid intersection points.